I know my boundaries. I want to fight Anthony Joshua exclusive because I know that I will beat Anthony Joshua's ass. I know
he just got knocked out, right?
Yeah. He doesn't have a chin and he has no skill and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends. All this, but I want to fight you.
AJ this morning, he went, listen, of course I'd fight. I mean, if the question was asked to Jai, would you fight Jake Paul? And there was,
I wouldn't fight him. I'd bash him.
Yeah. But he might do it. He might just do it for just for doing it for the sake of it. But obviously we know. Listen, Jake creates massive events.
Look into the camera and say it directly because it just has to be said. Jake Paul, sir, you are absolutely.
Hi, Jake. In response to Paul's outspoken desire to face elite boxers, Anthony Joshua spoke with his promoter, Eddie Hearn. Listen, Joshua continued, I'd fight him. Hearn revealed this information, demonstrating that AJ isn't one to back down from a battle, even though it seems improbable, considering their vastly different backgrounds. Interest has been raised by Joshua's readiness to consider the possibility, regardless of whether Paul is only exaggerating or actually wants that smoke. Although it's unclear, AJ's remark makes it apparent that he's always prepared.
I'll ask you a question because the world of media went mental this morning. Anthony Joshua against Jake Paul. Please put this to bed or light the fire. What's going on?
I mean, sorry. This is the first time I've spoken about the fight. To be honest, like, I look at it and I think Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua. I mean, look, for me, we'd do it for the banter. Do you know what I mean? Like, AJ would fight Jake Paul. He'd fight anyone, to be honest with you. And if Jake Paul wants to step up and fight Anthony Joshua, he'll need the relevant insurance. But, the only thing that was disappointing was he says 2026. I mean, that's like calling someone out. That's like me saying, LA Olympics for the surfing, 2028, I'll be there. Do you know what I mean? Do it in 2025 if you really want to do it. You're not going to get really much better at this stage, but I don't know, those two have spoken. I spoke to AJ this morning, he went, listen, of course I'd fight. I mean, if the question was asked to Jai, would you fight Jake Paul? And there was,
I wouldn't fight him, I'd bash him.
Yeah. But he might do it. He might just do it for just for doing it for the sake of it. But obviously we know. Listen, Jake creates massive events, right? You know that's going to create like unbelievable viewership, and no disrespect to Jake Paul, it's a straightforward night's work. But I like this calling out of Canelo and all this. AJ it's another challenge up there. But if they're game, why not?
What did he say, AJ, to you about it?
He said, why not? I said, what do you want me to say when I'm asked about it? And he said, tell everyone I'll fight anyone, anytime. It's not a problem for me.
Jake Paul has set his sights on Anthony Joshua, claiming the former heavyweight champion lacks a chin, has no skills, and is too stiff. Paul took to Twitter, posting a photo of Joshua on a phone call with the caption, "Look who called 2026 Anthony Joshua," suggesting a potential match in the future. He confidently asserted that he could beat Joshua, sparking heated speculation about the possibility of the fight. Joshua, however, responded by sharing a screenshot on Instagram of the two seemingly talking on the phone, implying there might be some truth to Paul's challenge. This exchange has intensified the buzz around a potential bout between the two, with fans divided on the matchup. In addition, Jake Paul shared a post from Bivaffa Sports revealing that Anthony Joshua was one of 6 fighters on his desired list for 2025 and 2026. Paul had reportedly sent the list just 3 days after his failed Canelo Alvarez fight fell through. When Bivaffa Sports reached out to confirm Jake's intentions, he confirmed that he was serious. The boxing world has had mixed reactions to Paul's bold challenge, with some fans labeling it as unrealistic and overly ambitious. Many question whether a YouTuber turned boxer like Jake Paul is truly ready to face a seasoned former world champion like Joshua in the ring.
Real deal respond to me as I tweeted my thoughts about delusion, which again I think is more about what Jake said about Anthony Joshua and what he'll do to him. That was the more delusional aspect of this. Amanda Serrano said, at Jake Paul is the truth. Funny, they say he's a fraud for wanting easy fights, then he asked for the toughest fights ever and they say he's nuts. Listen, he was scheduled to fight Canelo Gervonta And now he's calling out Joshua. Come on, who else is doing this? Oh crap, on second thought, he is out of his freaking mind. You're right. That was more of just Amanda backing her guy, you know what I'm saying? The co-founder of MVP and someone that she really...
According to sources, Jake Paul is also slated to face Gervonta Davis, which would further complicate his boxing ambitions. This comes after Davis's recent contentious bout against Lamont Roach. Davis. Despite this possible bout, Jake Paul has stated openly that he wants to fight Anthony Joshua, demonstrating his desire to challenge well-known opponents in a variety of weight divisions.
Gervonta Davis, and she's not the only one saying that. Dan Raphael said the same thing earlier that day or maybe yesterday. I can't believe that that's true or if that was really going to happen. Essentially, the idea being, had Gervonta Davis beat Lamont Roach, he was going to fight Jake Paul next. And this is why I say, like, it's delusional, but it's possible. Like, he almost had the Canelo fight, and think what you will about how that went down and how realistic that was going to be. I legit think it was probably close to happening. Now you're telling me there were discussions and potentially, you know, signed to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. And again, I do believe the reason for that is Jake's massive size advantage. Again, that's like a 100-pound weight advantage. How would that even work?
During the post-fight interview following his fight with Lamont Roach, Gervonta Davis used the occasion to criticize Jake Paul. Nevertheless, this unforeseen obstacle adds yet another dimension to the developing story of Jake Paul's boxing career.
Jake Paul has just called Anthony Joshua out. Yes, Anthony Joshua, AJ, the two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. This brother called this man out. Oh my God. Now, in a recent clip on Jake Paul's podcast, I think, he basically said that he will beat Anthony Joshua's ass and he has no skill, no chin, and he's too stiff for him. He also apologized to Anthony, saying, Anthony, I'm sorry, we're friends, but I know I can beat your ass. This guy is tapped in the head. But then again, he almost got a fight with Tank. If Tank beat Lamont Roach when they drew, he would have fought Jake Paul. It was lined up, basically. A lot of people get mad when people say he's the face of boxing. These highly rated boxers want to fight Jake Paul. So, I don't know what to say, honestly. But one thing for sure, AJ will never fight. AJ's too classy for that. Way too classy. He respects the sport of boxing too much to fight this guy. Absolute plonker. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And make sure you follow for the most up-to-date and sharpest boxing news and content on TikTok.
The boxing community has taken notice of Jake Paul's outspoken criticism of two-time unified heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. It is shocking to observers that Paul, who has comparatively little boxing experience, would make such aggressive statements against a boxer of Joshua's caliber.
Well then, it looks like Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul might be in discussions to fight. They were both on a call to each other earlier, and the viral video went round of Jake Paul saying he would knock out Anthony Joshua. If I'm being completely honest, I think Jake Paul would actually be lucky to make it out alive. And like, I'm actually being dead serious. Like, I think Jake Paul would be lucky to make it out of the ring with Anthony Joshua alive. Tyron Woodley literally had Jake Paul on skates and had Jake Paul panicking for his life. Imagine what Anthony Joshua would do. Look at what Joshua did to the last non-boxer he fought in France, it's in Ngannou. That is not going to end well for Jake Paul. But look, let's be real here. This fight should never happen. It's an absolute disgrace to the sport if it does. And yeah, there's got to be a lot of backlash if this actually happens, because it's actually probably worse to the sport of boxing than what Fury in Ngannou was when it came around, or, you know, yeah, or Mayweather McGregor. Like, you know.
Jake Paul's recent comments about Anthony Joshua have sparked backlash in the boxing community. Critics are quick to point out Paul's loss to Tommy Fury, questioning his credibility in assessing a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua. One Twitter user summed it up saying, YouTube boxer Jake Paul, who lost to Tommy Fury, says heavyweight Anthony Joshua has no chin, no skill, is stiff, and that he would beat him. What is he talking about? Despite the criticism, Joshua has shown openness to the idea of fighting Paul. Promoter Eddie Hearn revealed that Joshua responded with, "Listen, I'd fight him," indicating some willingness. However, many in the boxing world view the potential matchup as unrealistic, given the vast difference in experience and skill between the two. Some observers have even called the prospect delusional, questioning whether such a fight would be legitimate or competitive.
Jake Paul beats Anderson Silva. We should all fucking boycott the rest of his fights until he fucking fights someone that's on his level or whatever level we deem him to be on. You talk all this shit about MMA fighters. You talk shit about the UFC. Then you pretend that you want to bring fighters up and you want everyone to get paid better, but then you trash everyone every time they fight. Now we're putting food on your fucking table for you to drag our legends, older, shorter, smaller, past their prime legends that have spent their entire careers running their bodies into fucking car accidents, and then we hold these guys near and dear to our heart. And then this fuckhead just pulls them out of fucking semi-retirement and then just knocks them out in fucking pay-per-view and then she'll shits on all of us. Like, go fuck yourself. Like, why are we still fucking pandering to this piece of shit?
Anthony Smith, an MMA fighter, has made remarks regarding Jake Paul's boxing style, implying that Paul pursues great fighters in order to earn large sums of money. Smith suggests that Paul's tactic is to use trash talk to provoke well-known figures, which results in high-profile fights that bring in a sizable sum of money. This viewpoint supports complaints made by boxing purists regarding Paul's matchmaking decisions, which frequently involve older or less active competitors.
McGregor's done.
I think he has to come back and fight, but he needs to win.
Will he fight you?
I don't think he will. I think my skill level is outgrowing his in boxing, and I have the height advantage. He can't beat me, and I think he probably knows that. And time, he's only getting older, and I'm only getting better.
In addition to boxing, Jake Paul has stated interest in competing against MMA sensation Conor McGregor. While implying that McGregor's talents are deteriorating with age, Paul has asserted that his boxing abilities are becoming better. This claim has been viewed with suspicion in light of McGregor's experience and achievements in combat sports. Paul's remarks demonstrate his self-assurance and his approach of taking on well-known competitors in an effort to improve his reputation in the combat sports community.
You have got to be taking the mick. Jake Paul has called out Anthony Joshua and claims, I will fucking beat Anthony Joshua's ass. You know what? I want this to happen just so Anthony Joshua could just absolutely decimate this man right here. So first he fights Tommy Fury, a legitimate professional boxer, and he loses. Then he fights an OAP and Mike Tyson and beats him. Obviously, he's nearly 60 years old. Then he goes to try and fight Canelo, which fell through, thankfully. Then he tried to fight Tank Davis, which again fell through. And now he wants to fight Anthony Joshua, a legit world-level heavyweight boxer. Anthony Joshua is someone that I've always looked up to and probably one of my favourite boxers to this day and age. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind Jake Paul here and there, but there's just things he does in the sport that I don't agree with at all. And fighting Anthony Joshua, listen, I'm all here for it, just to see him get knocked clean out. The fact that he thinks he can compete with these high-level boxers, even though he lost to Tommy Fury, is just laughable. But how long does it take for Anthony Joshua to knock Jake Paul out? I'm saying fine.
The potential matchup between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul has sparked significant interest, with many fans eager to see the two face off.
Everyone's been wanting to see happen. Who will be the king of the United Kingdom? And who will be the queen of the Too soon? I'm praying that boxing doesn't happen to this fight, and what I mean by that is politics. People trying to take more money than they deserve. Fuck the money, get in there, make fucking history. This is one of the biggest fights that could happen over this past decade. Make it fucking happen, Eddie Hearn. Make it fucking happen, Frank Warren. Make it happen, Tyson. Make it happen, Anthony Joshua. We don't need fucking excuses. Don't let boxing ruin this fight. Get in the fucking ring and fight.